When I was a child, I remember being so connected to music and so intrigued by the way it would make me feel. Every day I would go through new pieces of music or I'd listen to the same album on repeat. New pieces of music would make me feel, would put me to sleep, would give me the chills, and it would just help me carry on with daily life. Slowly as time went by, I began to understand that music was helping me understand emotions in a very deep and profound way. And soon it was becoming a powerful tool for me to channel inner pain. So, of course, at the age of 18, after high school, I wanted to study music. And coming from a Gujarati family, that is really, really weird. So, I had to convince my parents saying, I want to study music, I want to go abroad. And they're looking at me like, what are you going to do with music? Anyways, so we were fighting a lot and arguing, and after much debate, they said, okay, we'll let you go as long as you come back and pursue something more conventional. It didn't matter at that point. I said, okay, great, I'm going to go. So I packed my bags and went to London. Now, a year later, I come back to Mumbai, and it's time for me to make that higher decision of what am I going to study. I was really interested in mental health, but a couple of years ago, or maybe 6 or 7 years ago, when I was deciding what to do, the lack of awareness around mental health and psychology pushed me to take a more regular path in mass media and communications. So after I graduated from college, I was immediately hit by the real world. And I started comparing myself to friends around me who had that 9 to 5 job. And I quit my band and I went and found one for myself in event management and marketing. As days went on, I began to observe that people around me were often overworked and overstressed. And I became someone that they'd talk to about their emotions. Not only that, I found myself being very drawn to understand their experiences with stress, anxiety, and depression. And I was thinking to myself at that point that this normal job, this job that society sort of approves, helped me feel safe and secure. But I wasn't happy. I hadn't played music in 2 years. Something that was so passionate to me was just gone away. That void was becoming deeper and deeper, and I had to do something about it. Around that time, I was introduced to music therapy, and immediately this got my mind thinking. But there was another problem out here. It would require me to leave home and go to Pondicherry again. During that time, feelings of anxiety and stress started taking over again. Was I making the right decision? What if this wouldn't work out? This field is so new in India. So during that time, I was reading a lot of Japanese philosophy, and I clearly remember this. Through that philosophy, I asked myself 4 questions. What is it that I like? What am I good at? What does the world around me need? And how am I going to get paid for it? I like music. I'm good at understanding people. The world around me needs help. These 3 answers were enough for me to go to Pondicherry and study music therapy. What is music therapy? You know, in India, there's a common misunderstanding that music therapy is often like sound healing, or where you get these Tibetan bowls and play it and the person relaxes or the patient relaxes and he's somehow going to be cured. However, music therapy is a clinical and evidence-based use of music and all of its elements by a trained professional to achieve non-musical goals. So, you know, when I went to Pondicherry for the first time, I also had to wear a white coat. And that really, really freaked me out because I'm walking in the campus and there are doctors running for surgeries and diagnoses, etc., with a white coat and a stethoscope. And here I am running with my guitar with a white coat and headphones on my neck. So I'm still considering my options out here. Should I pack my bag and just go back to event and marketing? But anyways, the first month, my mentor, she told me that you're going to be posted in palliative care. Palliative care, we had to work with people who were diagnosed with cancer. And again, coming from Mumbai, from such a fast-paced society, here I am in a hospital trying to help people who are probably going to die, right? And he did eventually. So that's the power of music and how it can evoke feelings or give you that hope when there is none. An interesting fact of the brain, and this is similar, I find this very similar with people who really like chanting or devotional music or something, is when the brain is listening to something that's repetitive, the amygdala automatically relaxes and it allows to process information with much more ease. So for a child, I would probably use something like twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. But I changed the lyrics out here. I'd use the same melody. It's a very repetitive melody, right? It's not too complicated. And I'd take my guitar out and I'd look at the child and I'd go, hello, 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 my friend. It is time to say hello. We are going to try and say hi. We are going to try and give a high five. And I'd sing this 3 times, 4 times. But in the end, I'd leave that space, something called as time delay, for the child to respond. So I'd go, hello, 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 my friend. It is time to say hey. And he'll complete it, hello, or he'll take his hand and give me a high five. So he's learning basic greetings to that. Think about this. Have you all watched a live performance or a band? Yeah. Is the band communicating with each other on some level? Yes, no, maybe? Interestingly, that communication is happening, but first they're communicating with their instrument. When I work with children in group therapy, a major goal that I find is giving these kids a chance to bond with each other. So when they come for my sessions, they already are looking at a floor filled with different types of instruments, rhythmic instruments, melodic instruments, shakers, simple instruments that they can use that they don't need no training for. So when the children come in together, 4 or 5 or 6 of them, they each take different instruments and they begin to play with each other. And they begin to copy each other's rhythm. And then they start smiling. So the next time they come, they're already aware of who's around. And it makes it easier. It makes it less awkward for them. Last year, a client of mine, about 65 years old, he had a really bad car accident because of which a part of his brain was damaged, because of which he was not able to walk anymore. I wanted to help him begin walking with music. I'm going to need your help for this right now. Just repeat after me. Fabulous. What was happening out here? Your brain was processing my rhythm and then responding to it. Remember when I stopped clapping, did you all still continue clapping before we changed into the faster rhythm? So with my client who was not able to walk, I took my guitar out and I played a simple rhythm on 40 BPM, really slow. 1, 2, 3, something very similar to what I did right now. And I was getting his brain entrained with my rhythm. Then he began to walk on 40 BPM, really small steps. And when that was happening, I knew that his brain is entrained, right, with my rhythm. So I had the ability to modify it. Remember, again, when you all were clapping with me, I quickly changed the rhythm. You all quickly changed it as well, right? So I modified it to 60 BPM, then to 75 BPM. Weeks went by, months went by. Today, he's able to walk on 120 BPM, which is almost like fast walking. So remember when I said that that music has a strong power to affect the entire brain almost, right? So in neurological cases, a certain part of your brain may be damaged, but when there's music played or when you're involved in some sort of musical activity, the music can actually bypass the damaged hemisphere or area of the brain and stimulate the one that needs to be stimulated. That's how he started to walk with music. Everyone knows we're born and we're going to die. Think of it as a journey that you have to go through. You're going to have heartbreaks. You're going to be sick, maybe. You might lose someone. It's going to keep happening. Life is painful. But with that pain, there is some sort of beauty. There is magical moments that you can see. You are going to go through certain experiences. What's important is, whatever you're doing at that point, you do it with honesty, with consistency, and with conviction. Because what you're meant to do will have its way of finding you. One day you'll see that everything does connect. You'll be able to look back and see that all those dots, all those experiences have got you where you are. And I think that is really magical.